Welcome to the Applications.com Ultimate Guide to Interviewing, a web series where we evaluate real responses to common interview questions and then give you tips on how to provide the best answers. In today's episode, we cover, what are your strengths? We asked this question at several mock interviews, and here are some of the responses we heard.
I think my strengths are that I've been in the design and build machine for 7 years. I know how to run a CNC mill. I know how to run a CNC lathe and a EDM machine, which is basically all the tools to build the components. And I also weld up all the frames for the machines. So I think I have plenty of experience to build all the components for a machine. I have CAD skills, and I also can do computer programming for the G codes to run all the machines.
This answer was pretty good. He was doing a practice interview for a manufacturing job, and he picked strengths that were very appropriate for his field. However, he really just listed these strengths and never really went into much detail about them. You'll also notice that he ended up trailing off by the end and ended up sounding pretty unsure of himself. First and foremost, you need to be confident when you're answering about what your strengths are. To sound confident about what your strengths are, you need to have them picked out ahead of time before the interview. You want to have at least 3 strengths in mind because the interviewer may ask the question as, name 3 of your strengths. It's also important to note that this is a very open-ended question and that the interviewer does not have a list of strengths that they're simply looking to match up and see if you've selected the right ones. Answering this question effectively is less about the strengths that you choose and more about being able to convince the interviewer that you have the right skills to perform the job. To do this, you want to go into detail about how your strengths make you successful at what you do. Here's an example of an interviewee who went into more detail about his strengths.
Yeah, so as a chemical engineer, I have the ability to look at what the small parts that make up a larger process are, and then that lets you develop achievable goals that you can work with as a team to tackle. And I'm personally comfortable working with either standing back and looking at that bigger picture and kind of directing workflow, or going down and doing the very technical parts in achieving those small goals.
Okay. To really convince the interviewer about your abilities, use an example of an experience where your strengths really came in handy. Have at least one experience to back up every strength that you have. Now you have everything you need to know to provide a stellar answer for what are your strengths. Thanks for watching. Applications.com is a job hunting resource with hundreds of employer bios, company-specific interview tips, and an expansive library of insightful videos. Now, we've taken our deep knowledge base and refined it into one easy-to-use document. Introducing the official Applications.com ebook, in person, on paper, online, the ultimate guide to job hunting. Your go-to resource for career advice, this downloadable document guides you through the ins and outs of the modern job search process. Whether you want to learn how to conduct a successful job hunt from start to finish or need quick tips before an interview, our ebook helps you get the job you're after. Click on the book to download your copy today.